to be back.
Yes.
I feel like, I feel like it's the first day of spring after a long winter. That's
Yes.
for sure. That's for sure. But man, I'm super excited because we do have a lot of freaking industry news.
Yes, we
That is
do.
right, man. There's so much happening. We finally got a results in
Yes.
the Disney proxy shareholder battle.
We
Oh my
did.
goodness.
We
Did
did.
Peltz get on the board or not? We're going to be talking all about that and so much more. I mean, I'm just super pumped, man.
Oh, me too, man. And we've got Marvel news. We've got all kinds of Disney movie news. We've got news from Superman. So, of course, we've got Warner Brothers news. Paramount, is it getting close to being sold? Will it survive as a studio? Will it be sold off? We don't know. Universal's got a whole bunch of stuff going on. I mean, it is going to be, like you said, a jam-packed show. But we've been gone for a couple of weeks, so we got a lot to talk about. It's going to be exciting. We love this industry, and anytime we could just, go at it, this is going to be a fun one for sure.
That's right. That's right. So much happening. So let's get into it. Hello, everyone. So you want to start a podcast but have no idea where to start? Well, Crazy Ant Media is here to help you. We want to assist you finding your VFE. What's VFE, you ask? Well, that is your voice, your format, and your equipment. These are the 3 biggest essentials you need to start your podcast. All those hours watching nonstop YouTube videos or all those random website links, those are done. Just hop on a Zoom call with us and we'll talk about everything you need to know to create your own podcast and find your voice. Plus, we will send you home with a 12-page packet over everything we just discussed. It's very in-depth. It is definitely a must-need while trying to start your first podcast. Contact us at info@crazyantmedia.com today so that you can start finding your podcast voice for tomorrow. What's up, guys? Oh my goodness, episode 255, and we're back. Your host with the most, myself, JLo Fantastic, and the one and only Mouth.
What's up? I haven't said that in a couple of weeks. I'm like,
Right? So much happening, and we're super excited to talk about everything, but to give you a little update on life, yes, the wedding happened. Everything was great. If we were giving out awards at the wedding, who cried the most, it would have definitely been my co-host, Dustin. That's for sure. But man, oh man, everything ran smoothly, and happy to say that nobody had any panic attacks. Nothing bad really happened. I got sick, but I have stomach problems in the mornings anyway. So, I mean, but everything rocked and rolled and everything went smoothly.
My goodness. Yes, for all of you guys out there, we are now officially family. We've known we've been family forever, but now it's official. Now it's legal. We're good to go. And I swear to God, if you guys see pictures, I'm not mad. I'm just trying to hold back tears because I did cry a lot. Some of the pictures I'm looking at, my face looks like I want to kill somebody, and I literally am just trying not to cry. So it's so funny. But it was beautiful. I cannot be more happy that you are my daughter's husband, that you are my son-in-law, and that you are a part of our family because you are just a genuinely kind, awesome human being, and it could not, the fact that I get to work with you every day and do this amazing career with you every day and have you in my family and get to spend family time with you and be part of that, dude, there's nothing better, man. There's nothing better. So welcome, and now let's get to business.
That's right. And I mean, I guess it's kind of a perfect time after what you just said to tease our next EOP episode.
Yes.
Which is work-life and home-life balance.
Yes.
Which, him and I kind of struggle with sometimes. So it was a very in-depth conversation about, balancing everything, especially when we are family who work together. So it was a great conversation. Be sure to check that out on Wednesday, noon Eastern time on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
Yes.
But before teasing the rest of the show, which we kind of already did, but of course you guys know the memo. That's right. Be sure to leave a rating on this podcast and comment below and tell us what you actually think about this show, because leaving a rating on this podcast actually helps the show get seen by more people who enjoy entertainment news, but more importantly, those who are trying to break into the entertainment industry. We want to give you all the tools you need to step into a room and hold your own with not just your own film and television projects, but you need to be aware about what's happening all around the entertainment industry. And we give you that every single week. That is why you have to listen to ITCAFpodcast every single week, every weekend. Man, oh man.
Well
Freaking
said.
life is good, rocking and rolling.
Life
Thank you.
is
Off
good.
the seat of my pants. Off the seat of my pants. But man, oh man, be sure to head over to our website. Right now, we have a 20% off sale going on at www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. I actually just bought some today myself.
I
Me
saw
and my
that.
New wife have matching t-shirts.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm very excited about that.
Goodness.
A nice bright pink self-care t-shirt. So I'm very excited about all that, and we have so much more to offer on our merchandise tab. So like I said, be sure to head over there and get a little crazy. There's even a link in our podcast description below. So just be sure to go down and click on the website, and it'll bring you right to the Crazy Ant Media website, where you can start looking at everything we have going on at the company, and then of course start shopping and rocking that Crazy Ant Media gear. Man, oh man.
I'm just not gonna touch it. I'm not gonna touch it.
I
I had a joke. I was gonna go there. We got the E, but you know what? It's the first show back after. I'm gonna let that one go. I'm just gonna be all right. I'm gonna be.
But everybody knows. Oh my goodness. We start every single show with the one and only juggernaut of the entertainment industry, which is Disney.
Oh boy.
And like we've been talking about, we want to get you up to date with everything that was happening with this proxy battle, shareholders meeting, and did that guy Peltz actually get on the board? Well, it's official. Disney shareholders shot down activist investor Nelson Peltz's effort to win seats on the Mouse House's board of directors. Investors voted to re-elect all 12 of the company-backed board members, including CEO Bob Iger, ending the most expensive corporate proxy fight in history. Now, the voting results for Disney's board candidates were announced Wednesday at the company's 2024 meeting of shareholders, which was held virtually. Peltz, who heads investment firm Trion Partners, failed to get enough votes in his favor to clinch a board seat, as Trion's other nominees, ex-Disney's Jay Rossello and Gerardo Gutierrez, Gerardo Gutierrez is Disney's senior executive vice president, chief legal and compliance officer, who oversaw the proceeds at the meeting, said that the preliminary vote tabulations showed that Disney's 12 directors had won re-election by a substantial margin over the candidates nominated by the Trian and smaller investment firm Blackwell's Capital. He said the final vote counts will be disclosed in subsequent meeting minutes. According to the preliminary results, Iger won re-election with 94% of the votes casted in his favor, while Peltz just got over 31%. And Rossello got even less. Now, Maria Elena Lagamanesno, the incumbent Disney director who Trian had urged investors to kick off the board, along with board member Michael Frumman, received twice as many votes as Peltz and 5 times as many as Rossello. Now, Disney shares closed down 3.1% Wednesday after the shareholder meeting, amid a slight uptick in the broader S&P 500, and then of course the Nasdaq Composite market index. In a prepared statement, Disney chairman Mark Parker said, "We are immensely grateful to our shareholders for their investment in Disney and their belief in its future, particularly during this period of great change in the broader entertainment industry. We are fortunate to have a highly qualified board of directors who possesses a profound commitment to the enduring strength of this company and enormous amount of experience and expertise, including the succession planning. Now, Parker also thanked Iger, his exceptional management team, and Disney's employees for continuing to deliver for its consumers and shareholders throughout this very, very, very distracting proxy battle.
Yes.
Now, Iger said in a statement following the vote results, "I want to thank our shareholders for their trust and confidence in our board and management. With the distracting proxy contest now behind us, we are eager to focus 100% of our attention on our most important priorities, which include growth and value creation for our shareholders and creative excellence for our consumers." So, to recap, with the vote Wednesday, all 12 current members of Disney directors were reelected. Number 1, Disney CEO Bob Iger, Mark Parker, chairman of the Disney board and executive chairman of Nike. Number 3, Mary Berry, chair and CEO of GM. Number 4, Oracle CEO Safra Catz. Number 5, Amy Chang, former senior executive at Cisco Systems and Google and current director of Procter and Gamble. Number 6, Carolyn Everson, former senior executive at Instacart, Meta, and Microsoft, and a current director of the Coca-Cola Company and Under Armour. Man, does she do enough in her life?
Seriously.
Number 7, Michael Frumman, president of the Council of Foreign Relations and former vice chairman and president, strategic growth at MasterCard. Number 8, Maria Elena Lagomaresno, CEO and managing partner of We Family Offices and former senior executive at JP Morgan Private Bank and Chase Manhattan Bank and a current director at the Coca-Cola Company. Number 9 is Calvin McDonald, CEO of Lululemon Authentica. Number 10 is Teresa Rice, a former senior executive at CVS Health and Eli Lilly and Company, and the current director at the Carlyle Group, Bristol Myers Squibb, and Target. Number 11 was Morgan Stanley, executive chairman James Gorman, and number 12 was former Sky chief Jeremy Darach. So basically, everybody came back. That's all we need to know. Everybody came back. Everybody got voted back in, and life is good.
I'm telling you, though, just hearing you list off those 12 people and what they are currently doing and what they've done in the past, it makes it even more crazy that Peltz was coming at it saying that they weren't experienced and didn't know what they were doing on the board. Like, seriously? Look at what you just named that these people are doing. I'm just like, they've got crazy experience. It does make sense, though. Maria Elena, she was on the board of 2 huge investment firms and banks. Yeah. That could be why he wanted her gone so bad. She's a competitor. Like, she's just trying to get rid of her. Makes total sense. Well, a day after Disney declared victory over Peltz, CEO Bob Iger said in an interview on CNBC that the proxy fight did have one positive, and that was getting the company in closer touch with investors as it lobbied hard for its board slate. He also reiterated, now here's the important part, boys and girls, he also reiterated that the board is proceeding with urgency in trying to identify the next chief executive officer, with the distraction of the proxy fight finally over. Now, according to Iger, succession is the board's number 1 priority. He revealed that the board search committee to find a CEO successor met 7 times last year and plans to meet even more frequently this year. Now, this week, attention focused on Disney Entertainment co-chairman Dana Walden, who, according to inside sources, is the clear frontrunner and current top contender among Hollywood insiders. Many of those insiders are former Disney executives or those who have done business with the world's largest conglomerate. Now, Walden is a creative TV executive in the mold of Iger himself, with a string of commercial and critical successes and strong talent relationships. That's the biggie. Remember Zaslav's fuck up at Warner Brothers. Talent relationships are everything. Now, who has quickly adapted to the company's culture after her 25 years at 21st Century Fox? So, She's done an amazing job. Other internal candidates include Disney Experiences chairman Josh D'Amaro. We saw how that worked out with Chapek. Let's not go that route. That's my man. And executive with Iger-like charisma, whose portfolio includes, obviously, the company's most significant revenue, the theme parks. Bad idea. ESPN chairman Jimmy Pitaro, the likable executive who is guiding the sports network's digital transition, according to half a dozen high-level industry sources who know the company and top executives. Disney Entertainment co-chairman Alan Bergman, great last name, a Disney veteran who oversees film production and streaming, is also said to be in the running. Now, Hollywood executives familiar with Disney's business said the board would prefer to elevate one of the internal candidates given the company's distinct culture and iconic brand, but noted that occasionally the company has found leadership outside of the Magic Kingdom, as when it hired Barry Diller protege Michael Eisner and Frank Wells in 1984 to revive the company. Yeah, huge success. One source also claims that Candle Media co-CEO Kevin Mayer, the company's former chief strategy officer, who is, by the way, currently serving as an advisor to Iger, is a possible outside contender for the job as well. Now, Iger may elect to elevate Dana or another internal candidate to the position of president. They don't currently have a president like our man J-Lo, fantastic there, to provide exposure to other parts of the business before his scheduled departure. I think, one, that's a good idea. Elevate the person into second in charge and running the day-to-day operations of the company to get them the experience necessary. Smart idea. And you and I have talked about this, and I have said this. If you go back and listen to numerous episodes of this show, I have said over and over and over, I believe that Dana Walden is the candidate that should become the next CEO of Disney. It's been 100 years. It's time for a woman to have that position. It's time for a woman not only to have that position, but a candidate that is qualified, who has a proven track record. Suits love her. Talent loves her. This seems like a no-brainer to me. If this isn't the succession plan, they're fucking up again. Let's not fuck up again. Let's not have another Chapek situation. Dana Walden makes sense. It makes just my 2 cents.
It certainly does. I agree. Yeah, I mean, her, Kevin Mayer, who was said to be like one of the front runners the last time he was looking for a protege. So we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. I'm more comfortable with everything now that there's an actual, like, a whole team in place for the succession plan and not just Iger, trying to pick somebody.
Yeah.
So that's nice. I love to see that. But now let's get into the actual entertainment news. Enough business.
Yes.
Enough business. All right. Disney released a new still photo from Moana 2. And we all know that, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your name, Alue Kurahavu, who is coming back to reprise the voice of Moana and Moana 2. Well, last we heard that she was in talks. However, it is clear that she was bound to reteam with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is clearly coming back as the demigod Maui. Now, Disney essentially was so over the moon with a Moana Disney Plus series that it turned it into a big screen movie. Now, the sequel is directed by Dave Derrick Jr. with music by Grammy winners Abigail Barlow and Emily Bear. Grammy nominee Otila Foye and three-time Grammy winner Mark Mancia. Now, one person you are not seeing on that list is Lin-Manuel Miranda, because he did the music for the first one, and he will be absent from this one. So,
yes.
But I have faith that they'll have great music still.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
That's exciting.
Without doubt. Now, so that's all great news for Moana 2, the animated film sequel. Not so great news for the live-action version. It's going to take the live-action version of Moana a little bit longer to swim to the shore now that Disney first expected. The film, originally slated to open in 2025, has been pushed back to July 10th of 2026. Now, delaying the movie does give the film more distance from the animated Moana 2, which is currently set to open on November 27th of 2024. Now, that news came as part of a deluge of Disney release dates, announcements, and shifting debuts. The studio also revealed that its upcoming Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, as well as Toy Story 5, will hit theaters in 2026, giving Disney a formidable collection of potential blockbusters. Now, The Mandalorian and Grogu, a cinematic spin-off of the hit Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, will open May 22nd of 2026, while Toy Story 5 will debut June 19th of 2026. It signals that Disney is getting serious about reinvigorating its big screen Star Wars franchise after mostly focusing on streaming shows like The Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Its last major film release was 2019's Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, 2019, wow. Which was a box office success, but a critical disappointment. Since then, Lucasfilm, which runs Star Wars, has announced the development of various projects and enlisted the likes of Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins and Marvel head Kevin Feige. Most of these have so far failed to make it to the screen and or withered away in development purgatory. Now, The Mandalorian and Grogu is assuming a release date that had been previously given to an untitled Star Wars film from Thor Ragnarok director Taika Waititi. Now, no word on when the busy Waititi will make a trip to the galaxy far, far away. Disney also said that Tron Ares will open October 10th of 2025. That film serves as a standalone sequel to both the 1982 Tron and 2010's Tron Legacy. Oscar winner Jared Leto and Past Lives breakout Greta Lee lead the ensemble of that movie. Now, Joaquin Ronning, who previously oversaw Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, will direct the film. Tron Ares, however, will face off against Paramount's Avatar: The Last Airbender film. The Amateur, a spy thriller with Rami Malek and Rachel Brosnahan, will open April 11th of 2025. It had originally been slated to debut on November 8th of 2024. Night Bitch, a comedy horror film that stars Amy Adams. That's not nice. I love Amy Adams. We don't want to have her be a night bitch. That one will open in limited release on December 6th of 2024. Searchlight Pictures, Disney's indie label, will release that film, while 20th Century Studios will oversee The Amateur. Now, so far, neither studio is blinking, and bad news for those moviegoers looking forward to seeing the eagerly anticipated untitled Disney movie that had previously been dated for July 10th. That Phantom film has apparently been removed from the schedule altogether. So not only would we never find out what it was, but apparently now we're never going to see it. So there you go.
Wow, a lot of stuff happening, man. A
Heck
lot of
yeah.
stuff happening. Yeah, I really hope they figure out their Star Wars stuff, because I didn't even realize no Star Wars film has ever been directed by a female. So we need to get some female directors in the Star Wars universe. That needs to happen. Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman have been tapped to star in The Roses, and reimagining of the 1989 classic The War of Roses that Jay Roach will direct for Searchlight Pictures. Now, currently in development, the dark comedy's logline is as follows. Life seems easy for picture-perfect couple Theo and Ivy, who, of course, are Benedict and Olivia. Successful careers, great kids, and an inevitable sex life. But underneath the facet of a perfect family is a tender box of competition and resentment that ignited when Theo's professional dreams come crashing down. Now, Tony McNamara from Poor Things has scripted Searchlight's new take on the novel by Warren Adler. Now, Cumberbatch produces under his Sunny March banner, along with Leah Clark and Adam Ackland, who have been in development on the project since 2017, as well as Coleman, Ed Sinclair, and Tom Carver for South of the River, Roach, and Michelle Graham. So that sounds exciting. I never would have thought of Coleman and Cumberbatch as a couple, but I mean, it must be a great script, so I'm excited about it.
I'm excited to see what you think about it, because you have clearly never seen the original War of the Roses, right? So I did, and I love it, and I think it's a classic, so I'm not so fond of them doing a reimagining or remake of it, if you will. But I mean, Benedict and Olivia are pretty hard. I mean, they're hardcore awesome actors. So I'm going to give this one a shot, even though I'm not so happy about it. I'm really happy about this one, and it just proves that they are definitely going in their own direction with this one and trying to get it right finally. Emmy and Golden Globe winner Julia Garner is joining Marvel's The Fantastic Four as Are you ready for it? Silver Surfer. That's right, you heard it, a female Silver Surfer. She's going to play the Shala Ball version of the character from the Marvel Comics. She will, of course, star alongside Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, a.k.a. Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, a.k.a. the Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, a.k.a. the Human Torch, and, of course, Eben Moss Bacharach as Ben Grimm, a.k.a. the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing. Matt Shankman from WandaVision Monarch Legacy of Monsters is set to direct the Fantastic Four from a screenplay by Josh Friedman, Jeff Kaplan, Ian Springer, and Eric Pearson. Production of the film is set to begin this summer, y'all, finally, with a planned release of July 25th of next year. I love this casting choice. Not many people realize there was a female Silver Surfer. She was the girlfriend of Silver Surfer and got a little cosmic stuff in her, became the Silver Surfer and Galactus' new herald. I just love this. Like I said at the top of the story, I think it just proves they are going in their own direction. They're trying to go as far away from the previous ones as possible. So, I'm all in on this. I'm fingers crossed, man. Can we get them right this time? Finally, I'm excited.
One can only hope. One can only hope. Hopefully, this whole Fantastic Four will be born again. Well, that's right, guys. John Bernthal is back playing Frankie Castle, aka Punisher, on the set of Daredevil Born Again. New set photos show the character paired with Charlie Cox, the Daredevil, and soaked in blood.
Oh,
Guys,
yeah.
what the hell is happening? The Disney Plus series is now filming in New York City. Bernthal debuted as Frank Castle in Netflix's Daredevil series, and then in his own series, The Punisher, which aired for 2 seasons and 26 episodes between 2017 and 2019. A gritty and beloved character from the Marvel Comics, the Punisher is a decorated U.S. soldier who returns from combat only to find his family to be brutally murdered as he sets out on a quest for vengeance with a whole lot of guns and a whole lot of ammunition. How the character factors into the Daredevil Born Again plot remains to be seen. And I mean, Daredevil can't see it, so you know. Story details remain under wraps for Daredevil Born Again, but it is bringing back a handful of actors from the Netflix Marvel series. In addition to Cox and Bernthal, you will also see Deborah Ann Wall, who played Karen Page, Eldon Henson, who played Foggy Nelson, Wilson Bethel, who played Benjamin Poindexter, aka Bullseye, and Vincent D'Onofrio, who of course is the one and only Kingpin.
Yes.
And according to sources, Kristen Ritter's Jessica Jones has also reportedly been spotted on the set of Born Again.
Saw it.
The show officially brings all of these characters into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, Lou Taylor Pucci, star of Apple TV Plus's Rose Byrne series Psychological, has also landed the role on the series. The part is under wraps, of course.
Of course.
Daredevil Born Again has been through a bit of development roller coaster, though, as we told you on past shows. The series has parted ways with head writers Chris Ord and Matt Corman last October, while the production was shut down amid the SAG-AFTRA strike. Now, Marvel also released the directors for the remaining episodes of the season as it decided to take Born Again in a new creative direction, despite half of the series' 18-episode order already being shot. Only some elements of the pre-existing material is expected to be used in the final cut of the show. Now, Dario Scartapane, who wrote and executive produced Bernthal's The Punisher series, stepped in to serve as the new Born Again showrunner a few weeks after Ord and Corman's exit. Now, the duo are still being credited as executive producers, which is nice. Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, who directed Marvel's Moon Knight and Loki Season 2, were added as directors as well. But it is unclear whether or not the original 18-episode order remains. Now, Daredevil Born Again does not yet have a release date set for Disney Plus, but I'm sure we'll be getting that soon, as last week we started getting set photos. I feel like it's always one after the other. So hopefully soon we will get a release date.
I for sure, yeah. And we can confirm we did see the set photo of Jessica Jones, Kristen Ritter on set, so she is indeed going to be in it. I'm super excited about this. I've been watching the old Netflix Daredevil series, and I am so fucking pumped. Watching that again and knowing that they've gone back to that, and this now is officially a continuation of that. I am so fucking pumped. Now, of course, we can't have all that Marvel news and not talk about the other biggie inside Disney, which is Lucasfilm's Star Wars. So let's give you some news there. Disney Plus released the first trailer and key art for Lucasfilm's upcoming original animated series, Star Wars Tales of the Empire. The new series is the second installment of the Tales franchise and stylistically follows 2022's acclaimed Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. Now, Star Wars Tales of the Empire is a 6-episode journey into the fearsome galactic empire through the eyes of two warriors on divergent paths set during different eras. Now, after losing everything, young Morgan Elsbeth navigates the expanding imperial world toward a path of vengeance, while former Jedi Barisi Sophie does what she must to survive a rapidly changing galaxy. The choices they make will define their destinies. Now, the voice cast is a good one on this one, guys. It includes Diana Lee Anisoyoto, Meredith Salinger, Raya Kilstead, Wing Tin Choi, Lars Milkinson, Jason Isaacs, and Matthew Wood. Dave Filoni, of course, created the series and is the supervising director. He also executive produces along with Athena Iveta Portillo and Carrie Beck. Josh Rhimes serves as co-executive producer, and Alex Spotwood is the senior producer. Got all that? Good. Now, Tales of the Empire launches exclusively on Disney Plus on, you guessed it, Star Wars Day, May 4th, with all 6 episodes all at once. I love when they release shit on Star Wars Day. It only makes sense. It's like, you got something new, Star Wars Day.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, great marketing scheme. Well, Grey's Anatomy, that's right, got renewed for season 21.
Wow.
At ABC. I mean, these were the best years with man crush Patrick Dempsey, a.k.a. Derek Shepard. Best years. But it's okay. They're still going. They're still going strong. Arizona's back. It's all good. But the renewal extends the series for a record-breaking run as the longest primetime medical drama in TV history, which it first became in 2019. It is also the longest-running primetime scripted series in ABC's history as well. The show originally debuted back in 2005, so almost 20 years.
Yeah.
The cast of Grey's Anatomy includes Ellen Pompeo, Chandra Wilson, James Pickett, Kevin McKidd, Katrina Squarson, Camilla Luddington, Kelly McCurry, Kim Raver, Jake Borlelli, Chris Carmack, Anthony Hill, Alex Floyd, Harry Shum Jr., Adeline Kane, Midroy Francis, and Nico Tohoy.
Wow.
Numerous past cast members have also appeared and guest rolled in recent seasons. Rhimes executive produces under her Shondaland banner, of course, along with Betsy Beers. Now, Marinas serves as executive producer and showrunner, taking over for Krista Vernoff at the outset of season 20. Now, Vernoff remains an executive producer along with Mark Gordon, Debbie Allen, and Zoanne Clack. ABC Signature is the studio, and all past seasons of Grey's Anatomy recently came available on Hulu, with a new episode dropping on the streamer the day after they go on ABC. So it's basically, ready to go. But yes, Grey's Anatomy doesn't look like it's going anywhere, even though Station 19 is about to be done.
Yeah, and The Good Doctor about to be done. So I guess the only medical we're going to get, well, no, we still got Chicago medical or Dick Wolf. And that's funny because it seems like they're trying to catch Dick Wolf. All right, can they catch Law & Order SVU as the longest running show ever? I feel like the SVU is going to be like, to be fair, though, The Simpsons is the longest primetime show ever, even longer than the SVU, which is just mind-boggling to me. I was a teenager when The Simpsons came on. I'm about to be fucking 54. That's how long that fucker's been on the air. Like, holy shit. Anyway, how'd the move of the vaunted 911 go from Fox to ABC? Was it a smart move? Was it going to kill it? Was it not going to do well? Well, guess what? It fucking did really well on ABC, and they're real happy they took it. 911 has been already renewed for season 8 at ABC. The news comes about 2 weeks after the season 7 premiere, which marked the first season of the first responder drama on ABC after it moved over, as I said, from Fox. It also comes days ahead of the series' 100th episode, which will air on Thursday at 8 p.m. on ABC, and as Logan said, stream the next day on Hulu, because that's what they do. Now, per ABC, the season 7 premiere of 911 pulled in approximately 11.8 million multi-platform viewers in the first 7 days of availability, with the show ranking as the most watched ABC current series across all platforms this season. Yeah, even bigger than Grey's Anatomy. 911 was really popular. If you guys forget, we told you on previous shows, the only reason it got dumped from Fox is because it became too expensive to shoot for them. All the stars after 7 years wanted big raises. They were like, see ya. But that's the only reason. So apparently it is still very, very popular. 911 stars Angela Bassett, Peter Krause, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Oliver Stark, Kenneth Choi, Ashita Hines, Ryan Guzman, and Gavin McHugh. It was, of course, created by the mastermind, brilliant Ryan Murphy, Brad Falchuk, and Tim Minear. All three executive produced that bad boy, with Minear serving as the showrunner. Now, Bassett and Krause also executive produce, along with John J. Gray, Brad Bucher, Kristen Riedel, Juan Carlos Cotto, and Lindsay Ballou. The series is produced by, of course, 20th Century Television in association with Ryan Murphy Television and Brad Falchuk Television. Now, renewing 911 comes as little surprise given not only the show's strong ratings performance, but also Disney's desire to expand their work with Murphy after his recent move back to 20th Century Television, finding his overall deal at Netflix over. So back at ABC, back at 20th Century, and this is cool. And I'm wondering if they're still going to pull off crossovers, because they used to do crossovers between 911 and 911 Lone Star. And since now that's on Fox and that's on Disney, is that going to happen? I don't know. We'll see. Will they do a cross network? Oh my gosh, maybe.
Well, anyway, Will Trent has been renewed for season 3 at ABC. The news comes as the police procedural, which is based on the Karen Slaughter's Will Trent novels, has aired 5 episodes of its second season. Now, the show has proven to be popular with audiences, building on its ratings each week since its second season premiered. Most recently, the show delivered its highest rated episode ever, with just over 9 million multi-platform viewers over 7 days per ABC. Now, Ramon Rodriguez stars in the series in the title role of Trent, the top agent at the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Despite suffering from dyslexia and a childhood spent in a foster care system, Trent is able to solve cases others can't do, and because to his unique point of view. The series also stars Sonia Schoen as Amanda Wagner, Erica Christensen as Angie Polsky, and Linda Richardson as Faith Mitchell. And, of course, Jake McLaughlin as Michael Ormwood. So, all good things, man. I've heard nothing but good things about that one.
Have you checked it out yet? I haven't, but like you, I've heard nothing but good things, so maybe I will jump on it, kind of check it out. Speaking of good things, y'all, women's basketball is heating up on ESPN, and I'm guessing tonight's games, as we're recording this thing, will probably also deliver hot numbers. The network scored the most watched NCAA Women's Sweet 16 on record, with 2.4 million viewers across all the games. That's up a whopping 96% year over year per Nielsen. Now, the Iowa Hawkeyes, of course, with Caitlin, defeated the Colorado Buffaloes in the most viewed Sweet 16 game, tallying a huge audience of 6.9 million, making it the best Sweet 16 audience ever recorded and the second most watched women's college basketball game since 1995. Now, LSU came in second place with 3.8 million tuning in, which is still the second best Sweet 16 audience on record. UConn and Duke and Indiana Atlanta, South Carolina rounded out the top 4 games of the tournament. So far, the 2024 NCAA Division I Women's Championship is averaging over 1 million viewers throughout this point, which is an uptick of 104% year over year. I bet next week when we talk about the numbers for when Iowa beat LSU, those numbers are going to be huge. And then, of course, by the time we record next week, we'll know who the two are going to be in the champion. We'll know who the champion will be. So there you go. Woo!
For sure.
That was a lot of Disney. Now we're going to run and gun y'all through the rest of the industry news because the other studios have some news, but nothing like Disney was. So we're going to go.
Can you tell that it's our favorite? 40 minutes of the show is just Disney.
Hell yeah, baby.
Oh, my goodness. That's so funny. But anyway, Warner Brothers Discovery, Cruella, and I, Tonya filmmaker Craig Gillespie Gillespie.
There you go.
Yeah, sure. Is in talks to direct Supergirl for Warner Brothers DC Studios. The plan is for DC to shoot the movie for Q4 after they've completed James Gunn's Superman, which is shooting in Georgia for a July 11th of 2025 theatrical release. Now, DC bosses Gunn and Peter Safran are producing, of course. And then, of course, DC executive producer Chantal Nong is executive producing Supergirl as well as Superman. As we previously mentioned in past shows, House of the Dragon's Millie Alcock won the role of Supergirl, and she'll appear in another DC project, most likely Superman. Our theories are before making her big screen debut for her solo movie. Supergirl is based on Tom King's 2022 comic book series Supergirl, The Woman of Tomorrow. And the director there has a specialty when delivering female-driven projects. I mean, I, Tonya, that scored an Oscar win for Allison Janney as the Best Supporting Actress. And also notched a total of 3 Oscar noms, including Margot Robbie in the Best Actress category. And then, of course, Cruella, a solo spinoff starring Emma Stone based on the 101 Dalmatians villain, as a big pandemic Disney Plus and box office hit combined, grossing more than $233 million worldwide, and the movie won an Oscar for Best Costume Design. Oh, and I forgot to mention, he's also the guy behind Hulu's Pam and Tommy, which has received a Primetime Emmy nomination for Outstanding Limited and Anthology Series. So I feel like if anybody can do it, it's him.
Yeah, I mean, all of those projects are just brilliant projects. I think this is the right guy to direct Supergirl. I think, especially since it's a Supergirl you're not familiar with. It's kind of a hardcore, rough, I don't like anybody Supergirl. So it's going to be different. It's going to be awesome. What's not going to be awesome, and I'm going to continue to say it because I'm just not excited about this one, director Todd Phillips pulled off a surprise on unsuspecting fans as he dropped a menacing new poster and first audio for his upcoming film Joker Folie Deux, starring Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. Now, on Tuesday, the director took to his social media to share the poster with a caption that read, "The world is a stage." Joker Folie Deux trailer is coming April 9th. We can also tell you that the musical sequel to 2019's Joker has been rated R by the Motion Picture Association for some strong violence language throughout, some sexuality, and brief full nudity. According to the Motion Picture Association's daily ratings bulletin. Now, this is in line with the original Joker, of course, which was rated R for strong bloody violence, disturbing behavior, language, and brief sexual images. Now, Joker Folie Deux sees Phoenix reprise his role as the title character, with Gaga joining as his twisted lover, Harley Quinn. The film also stars Zazie Beetz, Catherine Keener, and Brendan Gleeson. Though plot details are being kept under wraps, it was revealed in March that the film will mostly be a jukebox musical, integrating at least 15 reinterpretations of well-known songs. One is said to be That's Entertainment from the 1953 musical The Bandwagon, made famous, of course, by Judy Garland. Now, however, 1 or 2 original songs will also find their way into the soundtrack. Now, Joker Folie Deux is set to hit theaters on October 4th from, of course, Warner Brothers Pictures.
I know. I think we're against the grain on this one. People are excited about it, but yeah. I'm really not. I'm not gonna see it. I mean, I'm gonna watch the trailer just to get like an idea of it, but I'm not excited at all. I'm not gonna see it.
I loved the first one. I just have no desire whatsoever to see this one. None.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, a successful sequel is Dune Part 2. And its strength is standing at the biggest movie of the year with $626.1 million globally. Now, over the weekend, director Dennis Villeneuve's, whatever the fuck,
Sure.
sci-fi epic generated 18.4 million from 73 international markets, bringing its international tally to $373.7 million. Now, outside of North America, which produced about 252 million, the biggest territories are China with about 46 and a half, the United Kingdom with about 43 million, and Germany and France with roughly those about 70 million combined. So I mean, it's doing pretty well, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, without doubt. And, of course, following the massive success of that movie, director Denis Villeneuve may have found his next project. The filmmaker is in discussion to reunite with Legendary for an adaptation of Annie Jacobson's Pulitzer Prize finalist Nuclear War, a Scenario. Now, Legendary also confirmed that it's, are you ready? Working with Villeneuve to develop a third Dune film. Legendary optioned the feature film rights to Jacobson's nonfiction book. Now, Villeneuve is currently in talks with the studio to produce, adapt, and or direct. His producing partner, Tanya Lapointe, will also be a part of the project. Released on March 26, Jacobson's book explores a ticking clock scenario about what would happen in the event of a nuclear war, based on dozens of exclusive new interviews with military and civilian experts who built the weapons and have been privy to the response plans and have been responsible for those decisions should they have needed to be made. So I think that's trying to capitalize on the success of Oppenheimer. Let's make a movie about nukes and a nuclear war. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Kind of what it seems like, right?
Yep.
Well, just over a week in theaters, Godzilla vs. Kong: The New Empire stands as the third highest grossing movie of the year.
Wow.
It collected a mighty 194 million globally in its opening weekend. The monster mashup from Warner Brothers and Legendary Entertainment kicked off at the international box office with $114 million from 64 markets. It also far exceeded expectations in North America as well, with 87 million in its first weekend of release. And overseas, China's led the way with 44 million, followed by Mexico with 12.8 million, and India with 5.5 million. Now, with this momentum, the New Empire is primed to eventually surpass its predecessor, the 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong.
Makes sense.
The prior installment became a pandemic-era hit with 474 million worldwide, managing to outgross 2019's King of Monsters that roughly brought in 387 million at the time when movie theaters were shuttered during COVID. Of
course. And now it's time for our Why Warner Brothers Why segment. Warner Brothers is apparently going back to the Matrix. The studio announced that a fifth Matrix movie is in development. It'll be the first installment without Lana or Lily Wachowski as directors. Instead, the Martian screenwriter Drew Goddard will handle directing duties. He will also write the script and produce with his partner at Goddard Textiles, Sarah Esberg. Now, Lana Wachowski, who helmed the most recent Matrix installment, 2021's Resurrections, is attached as an executive producer. Now, it's not clear who from the Matrix universe will actually return for this one. Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss have anchored all of the prior movies, as Neo and Trinity, of course, while Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Jonathan Groff, Neil Patrick Harris, and Priyanka Chopra Jones join the most recent iteration of the franchise. Now, plot details haven't been revealed, but Warner Brothers Motion Pictures President of Production, J.C. Ehrman, teases that the story that Goddard brought to them will advance the fantasy world without straying too far from what made the series a success by both honoring what Lana and Lily began 25 years ago and offering a unique perspective based on his own love of the series and characters. Now, The Matrix, which kicked off the franchise in 1999, is considered one of the most influential science fiction movies of all time. It inspired 3 sequels, 2003's The Matrix Reloaded, and The Matrix Revolutions in 2021, and The Matrix Resurrections. The 4th installment, which arrived after the 18-year gap and was the first to be directed solely by Lana, was, of course, a massive box office disappointment. That's partly because The Matrix Resurrections, like Warner Brothers' entire 2021 slate, was available simultaneously on HBO Max for no extra charge. It grossed just a petty $159 million worldwide against a budget of $190 million. That should have been enough to tell him not to make another one, but I just think this is a bad idea. I've long said I thought The Matrix, the first one, was brilliant. It should have never even had sequels. It should have just been a standalone movie that was an epic cult classic that would ride time forever. I think everyone that they've kept making has fucked it up. And I just... I don't know, man.
And that, ladies and gents, is what we call a disappointing franchise.
Yes.
That is for sure.
Yep.
Well, Maggie Gyllenhaal, who is teaming up with Warner Brothers for a period film called The Bride, shared images on Instagram from a recent camera test for the movie, which revealed the first look at Christian Bale's Frankenstein's monster as Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Right? That'll be interesting. Bale's monster makes his debut alongside Gyllenhaal's The Lost Daughter, Oscar nominee Jessie Buckley as the infamous bride. Now, Gyllenhaal has assembled an all-star cast for The Bride. Starring opposite Bale and Buckley are Penelope Cruz, Peter Skarsgård, and Annette Bening. The film's crew includes Joker cinematographer Lawrence Sher, and The Bride is set in the 1930s Chicago and puts a spin on the iconic Frankenstein lore. Now, Buckley's murdered young woman is revived, but her new life surprises her creators as she lusts for more romance and ignites a radical social movement. Along with the first look at Bale, Gyllenhaal also teased a photo of Buckley's bride. The film is Gyllenhaal's second directorial debut effort. Her first was The Lost Daughter, which Netflix released to an acclaim in 2021. The movie earned 3 nominations at the 94th Academy Awards: Best Actress for Olivia Colman, Best Supporting Actress for Buckley, and Best Adapted Screenplay. Now, Warner Brothers is set to release Gyllenhaal's The Bride in theaters and IMAX on October 2nd of 2025. It's a perfect story for this week's top 5 actors or actresses who turn directors.
Yeah, and
Maggie
she's a
Gyllenhaal.
pretty good one. Yeah, she's a pretty good one. I mean, that just sounds awesome. It sounds like a dark drama version of The Bride of Frankenstein, which, I mean, that's going to be pretty badass. All right, let's jump over to Paramount, and yes, we're going to switch back to the business side of it just for a little bit, because this is important. Is Paramount going to survive? That's what we want to know. Well, apparently shares of Paramount Global gave up some gains after surging more than 15% earlier this week as Skydance chief David Ellison secured pole position to clinch a majority stake in National Amusements. Now, led by Sherry Redstone, National Amusements operates a movie theater circuit and also controls more than 3/4 of Paramount's voting shares. A recent report in Bloomberg said that a tentative deal was reached between Ellison, a longtime business partner on film and TV projects with Paramount, and Redstone. Now, we can't confirm a deal is done, but the two sides are in an exclusive negotiating period. Such an arrangement is usually only entered into with a framework in place in the hope of reaching a final agreement. So the two sides have established 30 days exclusive negotiating window, a sign that things are moving towards a decisively good deal after months of speculation. Now, Paramount will not engage with other parties for that 30 days. The Skydance deal would require 2 steps, which is why it's taking some time. First, the acquisition of Redstone's stake in National Amusement, which would give Skydance full control of Paramount Global. The second, and more complicated, is the transaction would be merging Skydance and Paramount into one studio. That's the point of the deal, but they can't just be jammed together even if Ellison controls both of them, since Paramount Global is a publicly traded company with outside shareholders, including big names like Warren Buffett and Mario Gabelli. Now, the merger would require approval of an independent committee of Paramount Global directors to ensure that it's fair to those shareholders and could risk endless lawsuits if it's not done right. So that's why they're taking the time, guys. Deal talks first exploded, as we told you, last December when it was first surfaced that Skydance was interested. David Zaslav's Warner Brothers Discovery was in the mix then too, and private equity giant Apollo Global had been in and out most of recently with an $11 billion bid for Paramount Studio, followed reportedly by a $26 billion bid for the entire company. Redstone prefers the latter. Byron Allen made an offer for the whole company, but that seems to have faded from sight, and he's kind of disappeared on that. Paramount Global's finances, debt, streaming losses, negative free cash, and flow, etc., are less than stellar, and it's a smaller company than its main rivals at a complex time in the media business. Now, CEO Bob Bakish has said the company will entertain all offers. Paramount did a big round of layoffs last February. It's also been selling off non-core assets like its book publisher Simon & Schuster and various real estate holdings. Now, efforts to shop a stake in BET Networks did not bear fruit, and the company rebuffed offers to unload its Showtime network. So, listen, I called it. We called it. It was never going to happen with Warner Brothers. That's not. But Skydance has a long-term relationship with Paramount. They are film and TV people, and they love it. So you know if they buy it, it will stay Paramount. It will stay a studio. It will keep the... So I'm all for this. I hope this works out because I think this is the right move.
Yeah, completely agree, man. Completely agree. Well, Jane the Virgin alumni, Ayala Gorbalis, is reuniting with the showrunner and studio behind the popular CW drama series. Now, Yoel headlined by Kathy Bates, which comes from Jane the Virgin developer Jeannie Snyder Erman and CBS Studios. Now, Gorbalis played the series regular of Patria on the critically acclaimed Jane the Virgin for its 5-season run, and also recurs as Patria's twin sister as Nika, and Matlock, written by Erman and inspired by the classic TV series starring Andy Griffith. After achieving success in her younger years, the brilliant wow, what is that? What is this word?
Which one?
This one right here.
Septuagenarian. The brilliant septuagenarian.
Septuagenarian Madeline Matlock, who's played by Bates, rejoins the workforce at a prestigious law firm where she uses her unassuming demeanor and wily tactics to win cases. Maddie is assigned to Olympia, who is Sky P. Marshall, who is a previous guest on our show, a senior attorney and key rainmaker with the thirst for justice. Now, Olympia's ex-husband, Julian, played by Jason Ritter, and the son of the head of the firm, Bo Bridges, is interrogated by Maddie and her clever skills. Now, Gorbalis will play Shay Banfield, a.k.a. Meerkat, the law firm's devastatingly insightful jury consultant. Known as a human lie detector, she's able to suss out character and sniff out the truth using her mastery of body language, facial expressions, and neurologicalistics, making her a worthy adversary to a brilliant attorney, Olympia Lawrence, and an imminent threat to Madeline Matlock.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I'm excited. And guys and gals, did you hear that? 2 of our former guests are starring in that show. And we're going to get Jason back to talk all about it when it finally airs. So that's going to be exciting. This one's exciting. I'm a fan of hers, and Emily is a huge fan of this show. So this is going to be exciting. Felicity Huffman is joining Criminal Minds Evolution Season 2 in a guest starring role. Huffman will appear in the 2nd season of the Paramount Plus continuation of the CBS series as a new character named Dr. Jill Gideon, the ex-wife of Jason Gideon. The official description of the character states that she is a brilliant biologist psychiatrist who agrees to help the FBI's behavioral analysis unit investigate a murderous conspiracy theory. Now, Jill is reluctant to return to the Bureau's elite team, given her complicated history with David Rossi and her dead ex-husband, Jason Gideon. But soon realizes her specific skill set could help them uncover another clue to the elusive Gold Star mystery. Season 2 of Criminal Minds Evolution is currently in production, along with Mantegna. Hoffman will appear alongside series stars AJ Cook, Kristen Venius, Azisha Taylor, Zach Gifford, Ryan James Hataka, Adam Rodriguez, and the one and only Paget Brewster.
There it is, man. There it is. Well, we're heading over to NBC Universal. American-born Chinese star Daniel Yu is set to join Ki Hyo Kwan and Ariana DeBose in 87 North with Love for Universal Pictures. The film is Quan's first starring role since winning the Best Supporting Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, 87 North's Kelly McCormick and David Leitch, who also produced Atomic Blonde, Nobody, and the upcoming summer pick The Fall Guy, will produce this one as well. Now, Universal has set a release date of February 7th of 2025 with Love is written by Josh Stoddard, Luke Passmore, and Matthew Murray. Guy Daniela is also producing for 87 North, making his feature film directing debut is veteran stunt coordinator and fight coordinator Jonathan Espio.
Sure.
Plot details are being kept well under wraps.
Of course they are. Of course they are. Haley Bailey is set to join Universal Pictures' untitled Pharrell Williams and Michael Gondry project. Bailey will co-star opposite Kelvin Harrison Jr. and join newly minted Oscar winner Divine Joy Randolph in this coming-of-age musical set in Virginia Beach in the summer of 1977. Inspired by Atlantis Apartments, Williams' childhood neighborhood. Now, Michael Gondry is set to direct the project based on a script by Martin Hines. And Williams and Mimi Valdez will produce through I Am Other, and Gil Netter will produce through his Gil Netter Productions. Anytime Haley Bailey is involved with anything and she's singing, I'm in.
For sure.
It's going to be a good one.
Exactly. Well, guys, 13 years after its launch on the USA Network, and almost a year after becoming the surprise hit of the summer, Suits stars Patrick J. Adams and Sarah Rafferty are ready to talk all about the Universal hit series on a podcast.
Yes.
That's right. The actors have signed up to host a new rewatch podcast series for SiriusXM. Adams played Mike Ross, of course, who hustled his way into working at the prestigious law firm Pearson Hardman, and Rafferty played Donna Paulson, a legal secretary and confidant to Gabrielle Machet's Harvey Specter.
Yes.
They also will break down each episode of the show, sharing exclusive behind-the-scenes stories about the making of the series. Now, the pair will be joined by cast members and crew, as well as friends and fans of the show, which had a 9-season run on the NBC Universal cable station. Now, it comes after the legal drama broke streaming records when it hit the licensed by Netflix streaming service. That success led to a revived interest in the show and saw the pair, alongside Miach and Gina Torres, present at the Golden Globes and helped pave the way for the pilot order of Suits LA,
Yes.
a spinoff from creator Aaron Korsh. And the Untitled Podcast joins a number of rewatch podcasts, as availability of older shows on streaming has led to new interest in cast members sharing their stories from the past. I think the show should be called The Goddamn Podcast, because they insert goddamn so often in that show, sometimes when it's unnecessary, but I'm still excited about it. I mean, they're the two ones that I feel like you would want to talk about it.
Oh, without doubt. And listen, I think so. The question is, because we got Emily hooked on this, and she's currently running through all the seasons. Is she going to start over and watch it with them? I am. I just started rewatching it again, but I'm only 3 episodes in on season 1, so I'm just going to stop, and I'm going to wait for this podcast and then watch it with them. I think it's going to be amazing. It's going to be good. Another one that's amazing, and I'm a huge fan, and it's back. They had the pilot episode debut, and then we had to wait like a month before this thing came back. But CBS's Elsbeth will count on 3 additional guest stars for its season 1 cast: Elizabeth Lale, Arian Moyade, and Laura Benatti. Now, following a brief hiatus, as I just said, the show returned this week with 2 episodes. Now, Elsbeth, if you're not familiar, follows the title Elsbeth Tassioni, an astute but unconventional attorney who utilizes her singular point of view to make unique observations and corner brilliant criminals alongside the NYPD following her successful career in Chicago. Now, the character first appeared in The Good Wife, and then later in The Good Wife spinoff, The Good Fight. In addition to Preston, Wendell Pierce and Cara Patterson round out the series' regular cast as Captain Wagner and Kaya Blanque, respectively. Now, Gloria Rubin recurs as Wagner's wife, Claudia Payne. The cast is small as the police procedural dramedy depends on a healthy supply of guest stars like Stephen Moyer, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, Linda Lavin, and Blair Underwood, just to name a few. Now, Lael will portray Quinn, a hot young tech CEO known for her location-based crime alert app, Cerebrus. Hey, now, are we taking that from X-Men? Quinn uses her charm and privilege to hook investors, and she'll even use her app to deceive the authorities when she gets caught up in her messes. Moyad will portray Joe, the charismatic owner of an exclusive Tribeca cocktail bar. Joe considers his establishment a refuge from this crazy world and dotes on his regulars like family. He's wildly generous, bully, and seethes injustice, and will go to murderous lengths to punish a bully from his neighborhood and his past. Benatti will portray Nadine, a glamorous, smart, and determined supermodel who is retiring from the runway while dealing with a messy divorce from her designer husband. A well-respected force in the fashion industry, Nadine will do anything to stop disgraceful information about her from coming to light. I love this show. If you guys haven't jumped on it, you totally should. It's one of the best written characters in television history, in my opinion. Get on it.
For sure. Well, Craig Zeist has been tapped to direct and executive produce season 2 of Taylor Sheridan's Paramount Plus original series Tulsa King, starring Sylvester Stallone, which has also started production. Tulsa King will film in Oklahoma and Atlanta this time. Now, Terrence Winter, who stepped down as showrunner of the mob drama comedy after its first season, has come back as just a writer on season 2, in addition to continuing his duties as an executive producer. The series opted not to get a replacement for Winter, in line with the practice that at the other Sheridan series produced by 101 Studios that would have a traditional showrunner. Now, instead, Tulsa King, produced by MTV Entertainment Studios and 101 Studios, was to bring in a director/executive producer, which it now has in Zeist Hire. Now, Frank Grillo has also joined the cast of season 2. Now, Grillo will play Bill Bacaquala, a Kansas City mobster with interest in Tulsa. Now, Annabella Scorgia and Tatiana Zaprino, who recurred on season 1, have been upped as series regulars for the second season.
Cool.
Joining the show's ensemble cast that includes Andrea Savage, Martin Starr, Max Casita, Dominic Mabrazanti, Vincent Plaza, Jay Will, Garrett Hudlin, everybody. Tulsa King follows a New York Mafia capo, Dwight the General Manfredi, who is Stallone, just after he was released from prison after 25 years and his unceremoniously exited by his boss, who set up shop in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Realizing that his mob family may not have his best interest in mind, Dwight slowly builds a crew from a group of unlikely characters to help him establish a new criminal empire in a place that to him might as well be another planet. Now, Scorisia plays Joanne Marafini, Dwight's younger sister. Now, Zapernido plays Tina Marafini Greiger, Dwight's estranged daughter. The series is Paramount Plus's second most watched series of all time, behind Sheridan's 1923. Season 1 will make its broadcast debut on a sibling CBS this summer, prior to the launch of Season 2 on Paramount Plus this fall.
There you go. I love this show. I don't know if you've jumped on it yet, but I think it's a great show, and it's really fun, and I'm excited for season 2. All right, we're in the final stretch, guys. It's Sony, Lionsgate, and A24. Nothing happening. Let's jump over to Amazon MGM Studios, where Roadhouse, the Jake Gyllenhaal-led remake of the Patrick Swayze cult favorite, appears to be a hit on Prime Video. Amazon MGM Studios, which operates the streamer, announced that the action film has attracted over 50 million worldwide viewers on the service over its first 2 weekends. That makes it the studio's most watched produced film debut ever on a worldwide basis. Now, the company did not stipulate what it considers a view. In other words, how much of Roadhouse did consumers actually watch before Amazon counted them as part of its audience? Also, debut is being used somewhat capaciously as Amazon reporting the numbers after 2 weekends instead of just one, which makes them look bigger, obviously. Now, Amazon's viewership figure isn't just limited to that Friday through Sunday period. It includes the first 10 days that it was available to customers. Roadhouse, of course, debuted on March 21st. Now, the film did, however, perform strongly on Luminet's weekly streaming rankings with 1.7 billion minutes watched between March 22nd and March 28th, making it the most watched streaming original of the week and pointing to an estimate of 13.9 million views in the U.S. So there you go.
Rocking and rolling. I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal must really like Amazon Prime too, because he just inked an overall deal for 3 years for Amazon Prime and distribution. Now, a lot of people are like, does that include theatrical as well? Yes, it does. That's right. Amazon Prime now has first dibs at anything Jake Gyllenhaal has going on under his production banner. So that's very exciting.
That is very exciting. He's kind of, he was getting a lot of bad press for a little while because of Taylor, but now he's not. Yeah. Now he's making that comeback, and the sister's making the comeback with the directing and everything. Awesome. This is going to be awesome too. I loved all the movies, and I think this is going to be fantastic. A TV series set in the world of Legally Blonde is in development at Amazon Prime Video. No plot details are available, but the project is being executive produced by the one and only Reese Witherspoon, along with Josh Schwartz and Stephanie Savage, with Schwartz and Savage also writing. Now, Witherspoon starred, of course, in the 2 of the Legally Blonde films and will executive produce under her Hello Sunshine banner alongside Lauren Neustetter. Now, Hello Sunshine is part of Candle Media. Yeah, Kevin Mayer, Disney, remember that all the way up to the top? That guy. Schwartz and Savage executive produced via Fake Empire. Mark Platt, a producer of the films, will also executive produce. Amazon MGM Studios will produce also. It was previously reported that Amazon was looking to develop new projects based on IP that they gained control of following their acquisition of MGM in 2022. Legally Blonde was obviously one of those projects, along with others like Barbershop and RoboCop. So I would assume we're going to be seeing some stuff from those franchises coming as well.
For sure. Well, True Detective star Callie Reyes has boarded Amazon MGM Studios' upcoming thriller Mercy. Now, that is opposite of Chris Pratt, Rebecca Ferguson, and Annabelle Wallis.
Oh.
Now, the film is looking to roll cameras this spring for an August 15th of 2025 theatrical release. The movie from director Timur Bekmambetov is set to a near future when the capital crime has increased. Now, a detective, who's played by Pratt, has been accused of a violent crime and is forced to prove his innocence. The project came to Amazon MGM Studios from Charles Roven, who just earned an Academy Award for Best Picture as a producer on the one and only Oppenheimer.
Yes.
Now, Roven is producing Mercy with Atlas Entertainment SVP Robert Emid alongside that director's Bell B-E-L Banner and Medivh Nassiv. So, sounds very interesting.
It really does. You know what? I'm excited for that one. Now, let's jump over to the streamers they all want to be, Netflix. And talk about someone who is just living life right now and living large and just being happy and killing it. I love this story. Following her work with Netflix on its popular family films Family Leave and Yes Day, as well as The Adam Project, Jennifer Garner is back in business with the streamer after signing on to star in its holiday comedy, Mrs. Claus. Details as to the plot of the film are under wraps, of course, but Leah McKendrick is writing the script with Reese Witherspoon and Lauren Neustetter set to produce for Hello Sunshine, which has been at work with Garner of late on the acclaimed Apple TV Plus thriller series The Last Thing He Told Me, which was renewed for a second season that nobody saw coming. Garner is also producing, as is Nicole King for Linden Productions. Hello Sunshine brought the project to Garner, with Witherspoon providing the original idea. These two women are fucking killing it, bro. Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Garner, man, I love that. Power couple right there. Like, keep going, y'all. Just keep going.
Exactly. Well, hopping over to Apple, taking a bite right out of the entertainment industry. The Apple original movie starring Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum will be directed by Greg Berlanti and has landed a title as well. Fly me over, or to the moon. Fly me to the moon. Show me the stars. Johansson and Tatum revealed on the news, the social media, Fly Me to the Moon, which is reportedly set against the 1960s space race, is set for release in July 12th to be exact.
Oh.
The project storyline has largely been kept under wraps, but Rose Gilroy wrote the script based on the story by Bill Christine and Keenan Flynn. Now, producers are Johansson, Jonathan Leah, Keenan Flynn, and Sarah Shyster. Robert J. Dorman is executive producing. Now, the pick also stars Nick Dillenberg, Anna Garcia, Jim Rash, Noah Robbins, Colin Woodell, Kristen Zuber, and Donald Elise Watkins, with Ray Romano and Woody Harrelson as well. I like how they put those at the very bottom.
Yes.
But yes, that sounds very exciting.
Are you kidding me? A movie with Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum? I'm all in right away. Then you throw in Ray Romano and Woody Harrelson. That is not to be missed. You know that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah.
I love this one, too. I'm super excited about this one. Amy Carrero from The Menu has joined the John Hamm-led Apple series Your Friends and Neighbors, is in a series regular role. Congratulations. Details regarding her character are under wraps, but based on the original idea by screenwriter, producer, and novelist Jonathan Topper, we've told you this on the past shows, Your Friends and Neighbors stars, of course, Hamm as Coop, a recently divorced hedge fund manager who, after being fired, resorts to stealing from the wealthy residents in his tiny upstate New York suburb to keep his family's lifestyle afloat. Now, these petty crimes begin to reinvigorate him until he breaks into the wrong house at the wrong time. Carrero joins an ensemble cast that already is amazing and includes Olivia Munn, Amanda Peet, Lena Hall, Hoon Lee, and Mark Talman. Now, Craig Gillespie, yes, the guy that we just told you is directing Supergirl, apparently, is set to direct the first 2 episodes of this bad boy also. Additionally, Emmy winners Greg Yatinas and Stephanie Lang are set to direct 3 episodes each. The project reunites Lee and Tropper, who worked together on Max's Warrior, a series created by the latter. Now, this project hails, of course, from Apple Studios. I'm all in on that. I love that. I'm a big John Hamm fan, so I think that's going to be amazing. I think, and come on, I mean, great cast. Olivia Munn. I'm so glad to see Olivia Munn coming back. She's been gone for a while. Just love her.
Well, since that commercial, man, John Hamm is all over Apple TV
It's
Plus,
true.
So.
It's true. Oh my gosh,
That's
I'm
so
looking
funny.
ahead of the show, and wow, good list, my friend. Good list. This is gonna be fun.
I'm just saying. Which, I mean, now it is time for the top 5 segments since we don't have a guest, and it is top 5 actors and actresses who became great directors. And I mean, it was really hard, to be honest.
It was.
But, I mean, let's just say we need more people of color in the director's chair, and we need more women in the director's chair because, like, when you go through the Rolodex, there is a lot of great people and people of color and women. But there's just not enough. I mean, like the numbers, it's just outstandingly white. So we need to fix that, and I think we're starting to get the ball rolling.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And to be fair, it was hard because there were women, but they don't have enough under their belt. It's hard to determine that they're my favorite all time or that they're a great director when they've only got 1 or 2 films. So I'm right there with you. We need to have more women, and we have to give the women that we have more opportunity. Spitting out 1 film every 4 years is not cool when we're handing the white guys like 30 films a year. I mean, let's get going, people. Let's do it.
Exactly. Well, number 5 for me goes to Regina King.
Yes.
She's only done like a tiny little bit of films, mostly television work to try to work up her skills. But I mean, the most notable one, The One Night in Miami.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. That was absolutely brilliant. You're talking about all of these amazing actors who are playing these iconic people in real life. And I mean, to be able to pull it off on a streaming service too, because, not a lot of people really was taking streaming services seriously as far as, critical acclaim and just trying to compete for awards until I feel like, what the fuck was it called? The one from Apple that won Best Picture. But I mean, in One Night in Miami, you have Ben Kingsley
Yeah.
Are Kingsley Ben Adar, who played Malcolm X, Aldous Hodge, who played Jim Brown, Ellie Gore, who played Muhammad Ali, then Cassius Clay, and then, of course, Leslie Odom Jr., who played Sam Cooke. Those four's dynamic in that whole film was absolutely phenomenal.
Brilliant.
And to only be a fly on the wall for literally that one night in Miami. Regina King did an amazing job directing all of these men, and I think they took her leadership very well. So that's why she's on my list. Number 5 for me, Regina King.
Yeah, no, listen, if you guys have not seen that film, jump on that and watch that film. It is a brilliant telling of that night and of those men. And those are some high caliber actors that she was directing in her debut. I mean, that was some serious stuff. That shows you how good she is. She's outstanding. And well, I remember her just on 227 as a little tiny girl shouting out the window. I mean, and now look at her. She's killing it. My number 5, again, we're going to give a shout out to a female director who I think just came right out of the gate with her first film. Critically acclaimed. Everybody loved it. We're like, wow, look at her. I'm talking about Olivia Wilde. And if you guys remember her debut film, Booksmart, it was very controversial, but people loved it. Critics loved it. Audiences loved it. And she came out strong and was like, boom, I'm a director, check me out. And then, of course, she followed it up with the big controversial film with all kinds of info. Don't Worry, Darling. So she's killing it. Again, she's a woman that doesn't take any shit. She's like, I'm going to control my set. This is what I want. If you don't like what I want, get out. Because that's what was causing the controversy on the second one, is there was some back and forth about creative decisions, and apparently she did like some stuff. She didn't like some stuff. There were rumors of dating, and she shut that shit down. And I think it's difficult for a woman when they're being critiqued about what, and when, of course, when they take control of a set, when they do have authority, they get labeled. She's a bitch. She's hardcore. She's this, that. No, she's just a director. She's doing her job, kind of a thing. And I think, though, if you go back and you watch both Booksmart and Don't Worry, Darling, they are brilliant films. She is a really skilled filmmaker. The way she drives a story, the way the pacing goes, the way she focuses on character development, she's a really strong storyteller and a really strong director. That's why she's got a plethora of films coming. There's a bunch of them in development, a bunch of them in pre-production that she is attached to direct, because I think the industry is starting to see that she is a solid storyteller that can tell winning stories. So that's my number 5, Olivia Wilde. Great actress, a lot of fun. She was on the OC back in the day. Who knew that? I didn't until I watched it. But I love it. I love to see strong storytellers. And both your number 5 and my number 5, I feel like, are great storytellers and, in turn, great filmmakers. So, well done, ladies. Well done.
Completely agree. Number 4 for me goes to John Krasinski, who has just been starting to get his directing chops, I would say. I mean, of course, when you think about John Krasinski, you think about The Quiet Place, right? And Quiet Place Part 2, and then now they're making this into a whole freaking franchise. But what I'm really excited to see is If, a film that is going to be coming out here soon, directed and written by John Krasinski, and this is a very family-oriented film.
For sure.
So this is completely different than what he's ever done before. And I mean, of course, he's got the backing of like Ryan Reynolds, so that helps a lot. Steve Carell is also in this thing, Matt Damon, Emily Blunt. But what he's able to do so far in the horror realm has been absolutely brilliant, especially with being like a newer director. But I think the sky is the limit. People are already taking him really seriously when it comes to directing, and I'm really excited to see what he does with this family film. So yeah, number 4 for me, John Krasinski.
Brilliant choice. I think he's going to have a long career as a director, and unfortunately, I think we're going to start seeing him less and less in front of the camera, because I think he likes directing and he's good at it, and I think that's where we're going to start. Writing and directing is where I think he's headed. Our loss in front of the screen, but win-win all the way around behind the camera, man. That's going to be awesome. My number 4, where are we? My number 4 is the one and only other half of Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. Listen, I'm just going to call it right now. I'm going to say it. I say this all the time, but out of the duo, they're both fantastic writers, obviously, right? Won an Oscar for writing, kind of thing. But out of the two, I've always thought Damon is the superior actor. But now it is clear Affleck is the superior director. He is a phenomenal director. If you look at The Town, if you look at Air, if you look at Argo, all drastically different films and yet all brilliant. This guy has a really solid idea, and I think it's because he has spent so much time in front of the camera, and he's also a writer. So he understands it all. He understands the pacing and what's necessary in character development with writing. He understands blocking and lighting and shots because he's been in front of the camera. He's an actor. He knows how to be there. And if you hear the people that work with him, they say how actor-friendly he is. He's very strict. He controls his set. He wants a specific thing, but he's very giving to the actors because he's been there. All of those things, I think, in my opinion, make this guy a really, really great director. And I think, honestly, he's just getting started. I really do think we're going to see him continue to expand in genres and different areas. Maybe even jump into maybe a television series if we get him on a streamer or something. I know I've heard in the past that streamers are trying to lure him. So, yeah, Ben Affleck. Man, who would have not thought the goofy actor kind of kid next to Damon would be such a brilliant director? But there you go. I love Ben Affleck, and I hope he keeps doing it. And I'm super excited because he's going to be directing his ex-wife, Jennifer Garner, who we just talked about. That's going to be fucking awesome. Starring opposite his best friend, Matt Damon. So it's going to be amazing. That's going to be so cool. So my number 4, Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I completely agree because, I mean, he's my number 3, Ben Affleck.
There you go.
Like, yeah, what he's able to do is honestly so much better behind the camera than in front of the camera. Not that he's a bad actor. I just don't particularly like the roles he chooses, I guess. But I just, what he's able to do behind the camera is absolutely brilliant. Air is one of my all-time favorite films.
Mine too.
And like, it's amazing. Like I said, it's amazing what he's able to do. And yeah, like everything you just said, I completely agree.
I'm glad he's directing Damon because they know each other so well and have spent their whole lives together. They pull the best out of each other. So that's why Air was so good. And I can't wait to see what he does in this new movie with Jennifer and Matt. Wow. Mm-hmm. My number 3, I'm saying it. I'm putting it out right now. Pay attention to what I'm saying. This man will be this generation's Clint Eastwood. This man will be 90-something, still directing films, and still killing it, kicking ass. I'm talking about the one and only Bradley Cooper. This guy is firing out of the fucking gate as if he's been doing it for 30 fucking years. I mean, this guy just came, and I guess it's because he did guide under tutelage of Clint himself in The Mule, and he's worked with all these amazing directors, and you could just tell he was like a sponge, just taking that shit in. Because when he said, I'm going to direct, holy shit. Like, he just came out and he just fired it. And not only did he come out and say, I'm going to make my directorial debut, which is hard enough in itself, but he said, and I'm going to star in it. And I'm going to fucking produce it. And I'm going to kind of help toy with the script and write it a little bit. Like, what? It's hard enough to make the transition into directing. It's hard enough just to be a director, let alone transition into directing. But when you direct yourself, which many directors won't do, they're fucking like, no, it's too, I can't do it. Fuck. Bradley Cooper, look at his films, y'all, that he's been, I mean, just, it seems like since he announced that he was going to direct and started directing, he's getting nominated for Oscars every fucking year. This guy is killing it. And he started off, the first time I saw him, I don't know if you guys, speaking of Jennifer Garner, he was a guest star. It was a minimal role at best on Alias, y'all. Alias. He was in a couple episodes and then he went away and then he popped back towards the end of the first season. I'm like, just goofy little sidekick actor. Now he's like Oscar caliber actor, Oscar caliber writer, killing it as a director, Oscar caliber director. I'm like, this man. So if you're worried about, it's too small a role, I don't want to be a guest star, I don't want to be Get on a fucking set and take the Bradley Cooper route. I mean, just, this guy's brilliant. I don't know what you think about him, but I fucking love Bradley Cooper, bro. I really do think he's this generation's Clint Eastwood. I do.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like right now he's going through his Leoism at the Academy Awards.
Yes.
Because he's going to be making and doing all of these amazing films, but then not getting the award and the recognition that he deserves.
Facts.
I feel like, because it took him 6 or 4 around there years to do Maestro.
Yeah.
So I feel like, does he try to just win Best Actor first and then try to get Best Director? Or like, what, man? But it's really hard to do, and you dedicate so much time to it, because if it's a numbers game, you only have so many left.
Oh, without doubt.
That you're going to be doubling. So, but yeah, I mean, he's amazing, and I'm super excited to see what his next work is going to be. I'm sure it's going to be years from now, but yeah, I'm excited to see what he produces. That's for sure.
Oh,
That's for sure. Number 2 for me goes to Jordan Peele. I just, I feel like this guy right now is filmmaking. He is storytelling, because he's coming with original ideas that the industry is like not coming up with. Like, I just feel like everybody's going with the mold. Everybody's doing remakes or reboots, and he's creating something completely different. The movies that make you think, films that start conversations, and that's what storytelling is all about. So that's why I love what he is able to do. And nobody thought this was going to happen from Key and Peele. Like, if you go back and watch that freaking sketch comedy show, he's hilarious. Yeah. But then he makes Get Out, and everybody's like, oh shit, we got to take this guy seriously. I mean, so I just love everything he's doing right now. And I mean, he's the true definition of a filmmaker. So number 2 for me, Jordan Peele.
There you go. There you go. My number 2, and we were joking about this earlier today, is like, I feel like he's another Ben Affleck. He's not a bad actor, but he's not somebody you're putting at the top of your list of acting, right? Like, he's had some goofy roles. He's done some funny stuff, most notably Friends, his little run on Friends. And then, of course, he works with Vince Vaughn a lot. But I'm talking about the one and only Jon Favreau. And sometimes I forget that he acted because it wasn't a whole lot, and he didn't. So, but he did. He was an actor first, and he still puts himself in little cameo roles in some of the stuff. But he's a fucking brilliant director, and he has gone everywhere, all ranges. He does television, he does film, he does short films, he does commercials, he's done videos. He's done the whole thing, y'all, and he's bringing it in every aspect. How good is this guy? They create technology specifically for him that they now use in other things. Like all the stuff that he did with The Mandalorian, building that round digital thing that creates backgrounds and all that. Specifically made for him. The green screen technology that they used in the new Lion King, now used everywhere. It's like, this guy is that good. He's like, I need this. I'm visualizing that. So you need to fucking create this shit so I can do it, kind of a thing. And he's behind all, making that stuff happen. It likens me back to when Walt Disney wanted to shoot animation with Snow White in a completely different way, and they built that animation cam, or that multi-stack cam, that provided 3D depth to 2D animation kind of thing. He's that guy. He's like a Walt Disney, where he's like, I have this vision, and now we have to build something to make my vision work, and he's just killing it. And if you need proof as to how good a director he is, think about Jumanji. Think about there is no MCU without Jon Favreau. There's no MCU without Jon Favreau. I know I said Jumanji, but go, because I know our producer's going to jump me for that. He directed a film that's in the Jumanji universe. Check it. You'll find it. Don't worry. It doesn't have Robin Williams, but it's a good film. It's goofy. But listen, I just think anybody that is can command the respect of the actors, knows how to tell a story, moves the pacing along, and is brilliant enough to create things that have never been done before, and then have the power to make it happen, you got to put that guy on the list. And that guy for me is Jon Favreau. Making shit happen. That's my man, Jon Favreau. Making shit happen.
Well, that's for sure, man. That's for sure. And I mean, yeah, because you almost didn't have him on the list.
I know. Like, and he cooks. You're right. I'm glad you called me out. I'm like, you're right. He does act. Fuck. Put my man on the list. That's right.
Yeah, like I liken him a lot to George Lucas, and I hope one day he just takes over Lucasfilm.
Yes,
because nobody really realizes that George Lucas created a whole bunch of different cameras and technology.
Yes,
to bring the films into a new age.
That's right.
So I really feel like Favreau's kind of following in Lucas's footsteps, so that's really cool to see.
Yes, sir.
Number 1 for me goes to old Ronnie boy, Ronnie Howard.
Yes.
Ron Howard, that man. His acting days are well behind him, that's for sure. I mean, some of us weren't even alive when he was an actor. So I just, you gotta think about it.
I wasn't alive for some of his acting. When he started acting, I wasn't even a thought yet. He was all the way back in. When you're talking Ronnie Howard and the Andy Griffith Show, I wasn't even fucking born yet. He's been around a while.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, this man, and even passing along the knowledge to his kids, Bryce Howard.
Yeah.
Bryce Dallas Howard. There we go. Is also becoming a great director herself.
Hell yeah.
So I would say even better than her acting. But anyway.
Oh, definitely.
I'm really freaking enjoying everything that Ron Howard puts out there because really, there's so many that are credible. The Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, Cinderella Man, A Beautiful Mind, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. But there's one in particular. There's one film in particular that's okay, he's freaking amazing. And that is Apollo 13 with Tom Hanks and basically everyone else. Bill Paxton, Kevin Bacon, Gary Sinise, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
Ed Harris. But this guy, he does such amazing things, and you don't even realize it. And that's how brilliant it is. I feel like right now he's focusing more on documentary stuff. But Scorsese does the same thing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he's up there, man. He's up there as one of the best of all time, I feel like. But not a lot of people talk about him. But I feel like a lot of people are always excited when he gets attached to things because he's such a good director, and I feel like he's such an actor's director as well. So yeah, number 1 for me, the old Ron Howard.
It's a brilliant choice. And yeah, this guy started off with a film about a fucking mermaid that didn't talk. She squealed on screen and everybody thought he was fucking nuts. I'm talking about Splash, of course, but that guy turned that movie into a massive hit and launched everything. Tom Hanks, Daryl Hannah. If you haven't seen Splash, watch Splash. You'll see what I'm talking about. But when a guy can direct a woman that squeals like a fucking doesn't even talk, basically, she of course learns. But anyway, fucking brilliant. He's brilliant. Yeah, I'm right there with you. My number 1, also brilliant. He's a man. He's a myth. He's a legend. And he's terrifying. And he's still fucking doing it. 90-something years old. He is still working. Still getting it done. I'm talking about, of course, Clint Eastwood. I don't even have words to describe this guy. Started off doing spaghetti westerns, y'all. Even before that, just little TV appearances. No, first of all, there was a long stretch where nobody in this country took spaghetti westerns seriously. They thought they were just campy, goofy, kind of, This guy made spaghetti westerns real in America. They were huge overseas. But this guy brought him here and he's like, this is going to work. I'm going to be a fucking star doing these things. And it did. And then, of course, obviously launches to Any Which Way You Can and fucking Dirty Harry. And come on, Dirty Harry is one of the most legendary characters of all time. And he takes that and then he says, now I want to direct. And not only am I going to direct, but when I direct my first film, I'm going to compose the fucking music for it. I'm going to act in it. I'm going to partially write it. I'm going to fucking direct it. And I'm going to write the fucking music for it. What? This guy, man, just, think about it. Cowboy Clint is fucking doing all that shit. It's just, but if you, in all seriousness though, and I don't want to keep talking about, but in all seriousness, if you go and you look at this man's filmography, and the range that he has as a director. The films that he does fucking westerns, he does drama, he does comedy, he does love stories, he does anything that you can think of. This man has put his mark on and has made it successful. And when you can do that and do it for as long as Clint Eastwood has been doing it, Clint Eastwood started directing movies when the Warner Brothers were still fucking alive, y'all. Like, I mean, come on. This guy is fucking legendary. So that's my number one. Clint fucking Eastwood. And may the gods put it on us that we are still directing movies when we are in our 90s. If you're still in your 90s and I'm still directing movies, I've set records, and scientists will need to know why, because I'll be way the fuck up there. But I hope I can get there, and I hope at some point when I go, you can get there and still be directing shit in our 90s, because what a fucking life that guy's lived. What a fucking life.
It's pretty crazy. It really is. But anyway, guys, that is our top 5 segment. Please, we want to know, what is your favorite actor or actress who became a great director? Please be sure to comment below in the comment section, YouTube comment section, add us on X, Threads, all the good places. We love the fan interaction. That's what it's all about, man.
We do.
Heading over to the box office recap, like we said in the industry news, Godzilla vs. Kong did come in at number 1 with $87.7 million for the opening weekend.
Yep.
Ghostbusters at number 2, Frozen Empire with 17.6. Dune Part 2 came in at number 3 with 12.8. Kung Fu Panda number 4 with 12.3, and Immaculate with 3.7 at number 5.
Yes.
New movies coming out this week: The First Omen, you got Monkey Man, The Beast, Strictly Confidential, and Epic Tales in select theaters near you. And movies you can still go see right now are Someone Like You, In the Land of the Saints and Sinners, Arthur the King, Imaginary, Crew, and of course all the ones I listed above, and of course a couple of different ones, and like I said, in select theaters near you.
Exactly.
And then heading over to the IMDb proposed top trending segment. I mean, it's really crazy because the top trending movie is The New Roadhouse, which is very interesting because, like, I don't think it looks good. You watched it. I mean, you said it was lukewarm. But
it was fun, but it was nowhere close to the original. And maybe I'm judging it harshly because I was such a fan of the original and Patrick Swayze and what they did with it. So maybe I came into it biased. But I've heard a lot of people who have seen it who said the same thing. It's a fun movie, but it's by no means great, and it's not. I think people are tuning in basically for Gyllenhaal. Yeah, they're like, okay, let's give it a shot because Gyllenhaal's cute and we like him, blah, blah, blah. I think that's...
and Conor McGregor.
Dude, Conor McGregor is the best part of the film. He's got this weird, like, ape walk, like, through the whole thing. He just does that the whole time. He's over the top crazy in the film. For me, it was the best part. He was hysterical. So, there you go.
The top trending TV show is Three Body Problem, which is on Netflix, and the description: a fateful decision made in the 1960s China reverberates in the present, reverberates in the present, where a group of scientists partner with a detective to confront a existential planetary threat.
Yes,
that sounds interesting.
It does. I've seen the previews, and I keep every time I go to Netflix for something, I see it, and I'm like, I want to check it out. I kind of want to jump on it.
Right?
So
goodness gracious. And Isla Gonzalez is the top trending star. She is in Three Body Problem.
Makes sense.
So that makes sense. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for getting crazy with us on episode 255 of ITCAFpodcast.
Yes.
Oh man. Like we say every week, be sure to follow the company and the podcast on social media. The podcast is at ITCAFpodcast on all social media platforms. The company is at Crazy Ant Media, and of course our other podcast, Everything's OKP, on Instagram, Twitter, and a couple of other things as well. And then you can follow us both personally on social media. Myself at J Logan Austin and
at Crazy Ant CEO.
There it is, man. There it is. And you can subscribe to this podcast anywhere you listen to your podcasts. We're on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Stitcher, and so much more.
Facts.
And if you're watching this video on YouTube, we appreciate you. Be sure to hit that like button below. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell for all the latest and greatest notifications coming out of Crazy Ant Media. And then, of course, be sure to visit our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. Like I said, 20% off right now, so be sure to check it all out. But man, oh man, I mean, it was a jam-packed episode, and it was kind of overwhelming, but I guess because I just watched it last night of the recording, and we talked about at least one of them, Hello Sunshine alum, creator, Reese Witherspoon. I just watched Fear for the first time.
Yes.
1996's Fear with Mark Wahlberg and Reese Witherspoon. And man, oh man, Marky Mark was creepy as shit.
Yes.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Man, like, oof.
That is a crazy ass movie. One of my favorites, honestly. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I was still hardcore crushing on Alyssa Milano at that point. I might still be hardcore crushing on Alyssa Milano.
Oh, well, you said it's a fantastic film. I was like, I don't know. It's a good film. You said fantastic film. And then you sent, and then Alyssa Milano's in it. I'm like, that's
why. Exactly. Look, I hadn't adored Reese Witherspoon yet. I liked Reese, but she hadn't been the Reese that we all know now and love and kind of a thing. For me, it was still hardcore. You know, there's Samantha Micelli, there's Alyssa Milano. I fucking love her. I still love you, Alyssa. I still love you. But yeah, no, that was why I like that movie so much. No doubt about it. This has been really fun, though. It was jam-packed and a little like, woo! But at the top of the show, we teased our new EOP episode, which was all about, you know, the work life and family life balance and everything. And we've been so focused on the family life over the last 2 or 3 weeks because of the wedding, and it's been all that. We haven't been able to talk a lot about the industry or all the kind of stuff. So it was really fun to just get back and talk about what we love and just saying all the movies and all the TV and Disney and all this. You know, like Logan said, you guys know we love Disney. It's bigger than the mouse. That has always been our mantra. We want to emulate that success and one day be that. So it's always fun to talk about that. I don't know. It was a lot of fun to just get back and just and talk about things. It was a lot of fun.
It was, man. It was. And someone else who we are inspired by and emulate and want to be just like. We want to have our own TV channel one day.
Fuck yeah.
That would be freaking awesome. I mean, the one, the only
Oprah!